We're speaking about in Mesilas Yesharim, page 76, Chil Hashem. Quoted the Gemara in Yuma that Rabbi Yochanan says that if you walk Dalet Amos without tefillin and without Torah, it will be considered Chil Hashem. Vo'inyan. Fifth line in the last paragraph. What is it? Shekol Odom Fi Madrigoso. Every person based on his level. Ula Fi Mashu Nechsha B'nei Ador, and the way he's valued in the eyes of the people of the generation. So she's bonein levilti asos dover bilti hogun lish kamoso. He has to reflect and always consider doing something which is not appropriate for a person of his status. I'll give you an example. There's a halacha of Hashav Saveda. You find the lost article belonging to a Jew, you have an obligation to return it. What about if it's a chacham ve'nei chvodo? Let's say you find a person is a distinguished Rav, and he finds a crate of oranges. Somebody forgot a crate of oranges in the street. Does he have an obligation to pick up the crate and return it? So it says because it's not appropriate for a man like that to carry a crate of oranges in the street. But why? We're speaking, if it would be his own crate, he would not carry a crate of oranges in the street. So the Torah doesn't expect he should carry someone else's crate of oranges. So based on, because the way people perceive him, it's not appropriate this kind of person should actually be involved in that, engaged in that kind of activity. Okay? There was a case many years ago. Okay, before you make your amazing statement, you had a few extra minutes of sleep this morning. You make amazing statements already. I know where you're going with that. I'm going to explain why it's not amazing. Okay? Amazing medical care. Okay? Said there was a rabbi many years ago, not so many years ago, maybe 20 years ago. There was a rabbi in a certain shul. Took vacation, and the members took vacation in a certain place in Nice. He went to south of France in the summer, him and his wife. People saw him. He said, Rabbi, it's not appropriate. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. Not because of the cost. For a rabbi, you don't belong. In the way people go dressed in this area, you don't belong here. It's inappropriate. No? So there's one of two answers. Either the man has no brains or he's no rabbi. One or the other. Okay? You make your decision which he is. Both are true. Okay? It's not amazing. You understand? It says, what happens if a Talmid Chacham waves his honor too many times? You know what happens? Nobody respects him. But it's amazing. He rolls up his sleeves and he shines people's shoes like everybody else does. You know something? It's not appropriate. Because for him to maintain his status as that, the moment he's seen as everyone else, he becomes ineffective. You know, the Rav Steinman, he was here a number of years ago, and he spoke to a few hundred Rabbeim teachers, elementary school teachers, and they asked him all kinds of questions, you know, about chinuch. How should the Rebbe interact with these children? Most of them are less than bar mitzvah. So one of them says, you know, he plays basketball with his students. Okay? Rav Steinman says, we're not talking about the kids who are problem kids, you know, that they need. We're talking about regular, straight-laced kids. He goes out during the break, he plays back. He's doing the wrong thing. Because the Rebbe has to be a model. The children have to love him. If they see him as, he could be a friend, he could be nice and kind to them. But to go down to their level, he says, you're doing the wrong thing. That's what he told them. You're doing the wrong thing. Okay? What? No. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him telling someone else. He could point it out to someone else, and that once that person sees it, he has to take it. He has to return it. Based on as his level of status is to a greater degree, or his wisdom, and he's recognized as being that special person. Therefore, he should increase his level of carefulness regarding his service of Hashem and how meticulous he is. You see an ordinary person speaking in the middle of the davening, say he speaks. But if you have a person who should know better, and he's seen it, and he speaks, it's Chil Hashem. Mishnah Berurah says, he enumerates how many lavim you're in violation if you speak Lashon Hara. How many negative commandments? Over a short period of time, 17. How many positive commandments? 14. And he goes and shows. See, he points out a case in a footnote over there that you could have a case. Person, they sit on the eastern wall in the shul. We're all, and the person is a person of status, and he begins talking before Kriyas HaTorah. And they're sitting on what we call the Mizrachland. He says, "What do you think these guys are talking about? You think they're talking about mitzvahs? They're talking tall tales, whatever they're talking. It's probably laced with Lashon Hara and shkorim and lies and untruths. And then they start reading the Torah. And they're still talking. So people sit in the shul, they look at these people. He's talking. Talmud Chochem. So evidently, there's nothing wrong with talking. Or look what he is, this man. He says he's in violation of Chil Shem Shemaim B'Fasya. He's desecrating God's name publicly because of who he is and what he represents. It's a public desecration of God's name. That's what he points out to Chofetz Chaim. That's why these people sometimes, when they go on vacation, sometimes the way they dress, we even recognize it's the same person, because they're the one that there should be a Chil Hashem. Years ago, there was somebody from Yad Avram. He used to eat in a non-kosher restaurant. Pasta. So he says that, and he takes his yarmulke off when he goes in. He eats without a yarmulke. He said it would be a Chil Hashem if he eats there with a yarmulke. I said, why don't you just wear yarmulke? Don't eat in such a restaurant. He's worried about Chil Hashem. You're doing the wrong thing, so don't do the right thing. Wear your yarmulke. Okay? Pasta. Good. Very good. V'meinenu osekain. But if he doesn't, and he's not careful, and he's not sensitive to this, harishem shemayim eschalabo, he's desecrating God's name. Chas v'chalilo, kichvod. HaTorehu. We're talking about is the honor of the Torah. Shemi shemar ba'al limud lo yarbe kamo kein biyosha b'tikkun hamidus. Because a person who studies to a greater degree, he's actually increasing his level of understanding what's appropriate, and he understands, he's perfecting his character. But if despite that he's lacking, you're disgracing the Torah. The Torah is supposed to affect you in a positive way. So evidently it's not. Like many years ago, people used to say, instead of teaching the Torah in yeshiva, they should teach you to behave properly. You hear these kinds of comments. Right? It's Chil Hashem. If truly, they used to say to a child, not to an adult. No, better the teacher, the child was arrogant, was disrespectful. They say, they should teach a little derech eretz in yeshiva. Elementary school. Now, forget about the Pasuk Chumash. That's what they should teach you. I mean, he was a child, but it's a Chil Hashem. Of course, what's going on over here. You're supposed to be this, if you're supposed to be that, one that doesn't go with the other. We're supposed to be perfected and refined through the Torah, and evidently it's not. Observing Shabbos and Yom Tov. The laws are many. We say right in the Memadlikin. Hilsa Rabsa L'Shabsa. The halachas are numerous for Shabbos. Right? You have the 39 categories, then you have the subcategories, and subcategories, then you have rabbinic laws, you have endless fences. Afilu divrei shvus, alfa pisham divrei chachamim, yikorim heim. You shouldn't take a rabbinic enactment lightly. Smicha shvusi. Smicha is a shvus. Leaning on an animal, right? You're not permitted to lean on an animal, put your weight on an animal. Why? Because that has a semblance of riding on an animal. We're talking about an animal, or let's say Shabbos. You're not allowed to lean on them. We had to Gemara at the end of Shabbos also. You want to put a child. The Gemara speaks about a case where Rav took his child to calm the child. He took the child and put it on the rump of a cow. So by putting it on the rump, on the side of the rump, it calmed the child. The child stopped crying. So, and it was on Shabbos. So it's mishtamish muktzah. I mean, or it's like riding the animal. How do you do it? It's a whole discussion. But it's only rabbinical. It's rabbinical. First, it's chaynos isatzmo, right? A human being is not carrying. If a person carries a human being in public domain, he's not in violation of transporting. It has to be something which is either inanimate, or it has to be an animal or a bird. Because in the Mishkan, they didn't carry people. They carried animals, birds, whatever. Nechul b'gedol le'adov hula protei hadinim machukusam v'vorim heim eitzel haposkim sifreim kulam shovim b'chovoseinu bum ziyusam. So people always say, so is it, when they do something wrong, am I violating a rabbinical or a Torah law? What difference does it make? Right? You're not permitted to do it. You're not permitted to do it. Because the rabbinic law, if not rabbinic law, you're violating the Torah law. One leads to the other. It's a fence. To be continued. Something else. Because you can't leave the kid in the street. It's pikuach nefesh. But let's say you know, yeah, you carry the child where you want. But let's say you know in advance it's inevitable. Every Shabbos, the kid stops halfway. You don't take that child to shul because you're putting yourself in the position you have rabbinically getting to violate Shabbos every week.
So is it rabbinic that you can't carry a child?